Thank you for checking out A1 Math, and today we're looking at sketching some linear inequalities. So right now we have all our inequalities in slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, but instead of having equal, it's an inequality. So you have either greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, and that becomes a very important thing as far as how you graph it. So first we're just going to graph it like we typically do. What we want to do is use the slope, which is m, and in this case the slope is going to be 3, and the y-intercept, which is b, and in this case it's going to be 4. So the slope, in order to use rise over run, you want to put your slope over 1, or make sure it's a fraction. And if it's not a fraction, make it a fraction by putting it over 1. So our slope is positive, so it's going to go up. Now there's two ways to do that. You can have 3 over 1, which is no problem, or you could do a negative 3 over negative 1. Okay, so let's take a look at how you would graph it. So first I'll start at 4, and I'll be right here. And what I want to do is, following this, I can go up 3 and over 1, go up 1, 2, and 3. But this will put me off the graph, so that becomes problematic. What you could do is change it without changing it by making the top and the bottom, the numerator and the denominator, both negative. And negative divided by negative is still positive, so our slope should still stay positive. So I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back 1, because it's a negative. So down and back. As you can see, it still goes up, so our slope is positive. Now, the thing about the graph, what you want to do is look at your inequality. If you have an equal to, you want to make sure your line is solid. So in this case, we have an equal to, and our line is going to be solid. Alright, the next part is you want to shade. You have to figure out which way to shade. So since I have a greater than, that means I'm going to shade above the line. So greater than will be this way. Okay, let's take a look at another example here. So for this one, we have the slope is equal to 5 over 1, and again we can use negative 5 over 1, and our y-intercept is going to be negative 5. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and graph. So we're going to go to negative 5, and here we can go up, it's supposed to be negative. We can go up 5 and over 1 with no problem. So go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 1. And we're going to draw a line right here. Now, because it's not an equal to, we're going to use a dashed line. And that's going to represent the fact that it does not include any points on that line. Okay, and because it's less than, less meaning below, you're going to shade below the line. Okay, now in this scenario, both of these were graphs where it's already in slope-intercept form. But sometimes you'll get a problem where it's not in slope-intercept form, and then you'll need to solve that first before you can go ahead and do the same steps we do here. So let's take a look at a couple examples. Alright, so with number 21 here, we've got this 4x minus y is greater than or equal to negative 1. So I'm going to rewrite that down here. 4x minus y is greater than or equal to negative 1. Alright, so once that's done, we'll go ahead and first just solve for y. So we'll do that by subtracting 4x on both sides. Bring it down to negative y greater than or equal to negative 4x minus 1. And last, to make sure we solve for y, we're going to divide by negative 1 on each term over here. Now, with an inequality, remember when you divide by a negative 1, you have to change the inequality around. So now my y is going to be less than or equal to. And that's going to leave me with a positive 4x here plus 1. So now I've got my slope, which is 4 over 1, and my y-intercept, which is positive 1. So I'm going to go over to the graph, and I'm going to start at 1, and I'm going to rise 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then go over 1. And now I'm going to make my line right in here. Now, because it's a solid line, or equal to here, we're going to use a solid line. Let me get one more point here. Alright. Now I'm going to use a solid line. And since it's greater than, was greater than, make sure you look down here. Now it's less than. And since it's less than, we'll go below the line. Okay, let's take a look at one more example. So here we got 3x minus 2y is greater than 2. We're going to solve for 3x. We got negative 2y greater than negative 3x plus 2. And now we're going to divide by negative 2 on each term. And remember, we're dividing by a negative 2, so we're going to switch our inequality around. So now y is less than 3 over 2 x minus 1. So in this scenario, our slope is 3 over 2, and our y-intercept is negative 1. So we're going to start at negative 1 right here and go up 3 and go over 2. Alright, and because it is not an equal to, we're going to use dash lines. And because when we solved it here, we end up with less than, everything's going to be below that. Okay, so that sketches some linear inequalities. Just remember that you got to use a solid line when you have an equal to, and if it's greater than, shade above, and if it's less than, shade below. I want to thank you for checking out A1 Math. Have a nice day.